Hi, my name is Nicola, and welcome to my channel, Booked Up and Busy. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram under Booked Up and Busy. This is my first video I'm uploading. Believe it or not, I actually set up this channel 2 years ago, but I just didn't have the capacity to follow it through. So this year, I thought before the year is out, let me upload one video and hopefully see where it goes in 2025. So I can't promise weekly videos or scheduled videos, but let's just see how it goes. So the first video I'm uploading are my 5-star reads of 2024. Let's get into it. So, of the 50 or so books I read this year, I had 6 5-star reads. And the first book I'm going to speak about is Eva's Man by Gail Jones. So, this book is about a black woman who's on a psychiatric ward for doing something unimaginable to her partner. And it looks at how a black woman is victimized. It goes back and forth between her childhood and her adult years. And it just shows us why she did what she did, what events led up to her being on the psychiatric ward. And I have to say, I felt like this book was a literary masterpiece. The writing's phenomenal. It was written in about 1970s, I'd say. And it won't be for everyone because the writing is crude and vulgar. There's just so many crude words in it, and that's why I just felt it was just very raw and honest, something that you don't really get in today's literature. And yeah, I would say as well that it's very disorientating. So it's a true representation of her mind and her mental state while she's on the psychiatric ward. So we go into her childhood, and then there's times where you jump into the present, but you don't know if it's during her mental breakdown or it's just her adult years. It's so confusing that sometimes I had to take a break, but when it all comes full circle at the end and you see the true masterpiece of this work, it's made me want to read her back catalogue, and it's just such a good book. So please check this out. It's Eva's Man by Gail Jones. So next up we have The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. um I've seen a lot of people say that this book is a classic, and when I finish, I just completely agreed. It's such a classic, and I will reread this book again. It's about a young boy called Amir, and it's a coming of age story about brotherhood, about friendship, and family values. And he's loyal to his friend Hassan. Hassan is also like a servant in his household, but because they come from two different backgrounds, it's like Hassan and Amir are great friends in the household, but outside, Amir can't actually show his loyalty to Hassan in front of their friends. The Kite Runner, I didn't know much about it, and I feel like I don't want to tell you a lot about it because I think you should go in blind, um, because it is a great backdrop to the story. So it's set in Afghanistan in the 1970s, and there's something that's very traumatic that happens in the book, and it stayed with me for such a long time. But it's a great representation of friendship, brotherhood, and just coming of age, doing things because you want to look a certain way in front of your friends. It's about choices. And yeah, this book is great. Go again. I think you just have to go in blind, read it, and yeah, it's such a great one, this one. Next, we have The Reformatory by Tananarive Jew. This book is about a young black boy who's about 12 years old called Stephen, and he is convicted of kicking a white boy. So it's set in I'd say 50s to 60s during Jim Crow era in America. And he's, instead of being sent to like a prison because he's underage, he's sent to a reformatory, which is a school for boys who've misbehaved. There are black and white boys at the school, but mostly black boys. And this is a story of sibling love because he has a sister called Gloria who does everything she can to try and get him out of the reformatory. Now, this book is classed as horror, and I think that's why I kept my distance from this book for a while, because I was like, no, I don't want to be reading anything scary. But the true horrors of this book are the events that happen at the reformatory school. It's crazy. It's about abuse, it's about racism. Those are the true horrors. I think it's classed as horrors because in the school there is a presence of ghosts and haints, as they call it in the South. And that's why it's classed as horror, but it's not scary at all. This is such a great book. 5 star for me. Literary masterpiece again. It's quite thick. So I did do combi. I read the physical book and I also did audiobook, and that helped. And the audiobook is just as fantastic. The narrators and the characters really brought the story to life. So again, check out this book. This one is fantastic. We have The House of Broken Bricks by Fiona Williams. This is my first Fiona Williams book, and I was blown away. It's about a woman called Tess. She's British Jamaican, and she's black. She has married a man called Richard, who's white. They have decided to move to the countryside with their two children, who are twins. Now, it's about home, it's about belonging. You see Tess's struggles of being a black woman in the countryside, just things like microaggressions from neighbors, finding food, cultural Jamaican food in the countryside. You see her struggles. Um, the house is broken, as from the title. It's crumbling because there is a massive secret. If you spot the secret early on, it will be such a good reading experience for you. Equally, if you don't, it's still a great experience at the end of the novel after reading. Um, this one was very heartbreaking. I don't think this is going to be a book for everyone. It's the narratives are full of nature and countryside and talk of animals and flowers. Not something that I gravitate towards either, but I found myself, it wasn't too heavy. It was just in parts within the chapters, and the story is mainly about the family home. So yeah, this one, check it out. It's so good. For me, it was just fresh. It was a very fresh premise. And once again, when you find out the secret in the house, you will see the creativity and the great penmanship from this author, because I was just blown away. I feel like I need to read it again now, and knowing what I know about the secret. So yeah, check this one out. Next up, we have Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. And this book is about a couple living in Nigeria who are struggling to conceive. It looks at the mental health of a woman, what she has to go through in terms of conceiving with her partner, and also how others, like in laws and friends, how they view her as well. This book was, again, raw. It was a true representation of what one goes through when they're trying to conceive. And, it just looks at all the expectations of peer pressure from family members and in laws. And it was just very sad. The main character, Yejide, she was just so broken and mentally scarred. And there was just so much pressure put on her. This book will make you sit on the fence. I couldn't side with any of the characters, the husband or the wife. I felt like they both did wrong and they both did right. But in the end, they both worked for themselves. They did what was best for themselves. Um, so yeah, this one's a conversation starter. It will have you saying who's right, who's wrong. Such a great book. I raced through this in a couple of days. So check this one out. Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. And last but not least, we have All That We've Got by Jendela Benson. This is Jendela's second book. Her first was being Hope and Glory. This is about two young girls called Abby and Mimi. Mimi is a young mother just trying to live the best life that she can. Abby, she's a young 15-year-old who wants what she sees on social media. So she's offered the opportunity to make money fast, and she takes it. The book is about young people running county lines. And for me, this was such a fresh premise, because I haven't read many stories about young people um, doing illegal activities. So it was very fresh. This is such a straightforward and easy read. And for me, I like easy reads when it's subject matters that I don't really have a lot of knowledge of. It's just straight to the point. Tell me what's going on, how it works, what's going on. So that was amazing. It was relatable. There's a lot of secondary characters in this book, but they each had individual voices. And I feel that their voices are enough to have their own standalone stories. I wanted to know so much more about the secondary characters. So again, great penmanship from the author. Check this one out. It's really good. Set in London. All That We've Got by Jendela Benson. So those are all 6 of my 5-star reads for 2024. Like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be giving you more book reviews in 2025. I hope you like this video.